Hello and welcome back to Real English with Real Teachers with Harry and Charlie. I'm Harry. Nice to see you again, guys. Today we're going to be talking about something really important in British culture because my brother's getting married soon and I'm really excited, especially for the Stag Do. You may know this as the Bachelor party if you're in America or other parts of the world, in the English-speaking world. But here in the UK, we call it a stag do. We're going to be introducing you to lots of vocabulary about this subject and talking about how we celebrate bachelor parties and hen do's, or bachelorette parties here in the UK. So if you're watching live, get in the comments box and give us your definitions of these words right away. And I think Charlie's got some over on his board as well.
I certainly do. Hello, everybody. Yes, I've got my three. We've got groom, a best man, and a hangover. So as soon as you know these, write them in the chat box and let us know. But we wanted to say that upon this video, we are sponsored by the lovely italki. And italki is a language learning platform. It's where we started. It's where the journey began for Harry and myself. And we love it, so we're helping to promote it. They have a ton of teachers, a huge amount of teachers, and all for a very affordable price. Haven't they, Harry?
They do indeed. Let's clear my throat. Me and Charlie started on there for about $10 an hour. And there are still teachers of a good quality teaching pronunciation lessons, exam preparation, and all sorts of things to meet your needs in learning languages. You can learn English on there, you can practice your Spanish, any language that you may be learning, and it's all online. It's very convenient. All you do is you go on, you look through the different profiles of teachers, and you book yourself a class, which you then take on Skype. So it's super convenient. You can find a teacher who suits your schedule, and you don't need to leave your house. You can just do it from your bedroom, which is what I love about it. So if you like the sound of that, then we've got a treat for you. We have $10 of italki credits to give to you after you take your first lesson. So you can book a trial lesson for maybe $10. And then you'll get another $10 from italki to spend on your next lesson. So it's a brilliant little deal. If you like the sound of that, just click the link to italki in the description box of this video and enjoy.
Yeah, go ahead. But before you do that, enjoy this class with us. We're going to bring you some really interesting culture behind the Brits, often abroad, which is somewhat not the best of our culture, I would say. I've just been abroad. I've been in Portugal for a stag do for one of my friends here in Germany, but he is a Brit. And there were 20 of us Brits in Portugal living it up for 3 nights. And I've come away a little worse for wear, we could say.
Okay, right. Worse for wear being not in a good physical or mental condition, I guess. So were you a typical Brit abroad, Charlie? Were you causing havoc on the streets, walking through the streets, chanting, England, England? Were you like that?
I wasn't chanting like that. They did have some chanting, I think. I was tearing up the dance floor most of the time, as I can remember, and making a fool out of myself. I remember falling on the ground really hard, and now I've got a short shoulder, elbow, and hip. It's actually a swollen hip right now, still 3 days later.
Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah. You're like an old lady falling off the bus.
Yeah, and even in fact my spine still hurts, which is not the best area to be hurting. So I'm bruised all over and hoping to recover soon. But it was good fun. It was really good fun. So we want to ask you guys some questions to get this started. We want to see if you guys know the words that we talked about. And of course, some of you already have yours in, which is great. We want to know also what you think of the traditional bachelorette party that you know of. We refer to it as a stag do or a hen do, but the traditional one that you may know of through some films like The Hangover, you may have some reference to. We want to hear whether you have similar things like that in your culture or not at all.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting. I see that lots of definitions are coming in already. You guys are amazing. So someone said that hangover is when someone's too drunk and they feel bad the next day. Exactly. It's how you feel the next day. So the noun is a hangover, and the adjective is hung over, H-U-N-G. I am hung over. You're dehydrated. Maybe you have a headache. You're not feeling particularly well because, yes, you had a little bit too much to drink the night before. And we've also got a definition of a stag do. So before you get married, men hold a bachelor party. Yeah, you go out and you celebrate your last night of freedom. But where does that actually come from, Charlie? Why do we say the last night of freedom? Because, you know, we should, if it's a good relationship, we should feel free in our relationship, shouldn't we? You know, a healthy couple, you should feel like you have freedom.
Yeah, you're locked down. You're locked down for life now. There's a phrase as well. My last night of my life, and now I'm marrying my wife, or something like that. So yeah, it comes from I think Greek mythology, or the Spartans. They used to celebrate on weddings or the night before the wedding. By drinking a lot, I suppose, and then getting married. But nowadays we don't do it so much the night before, probably because it's a bit dangerous and a bit risky. Because in Britain we spend on average around 20 to 30,000 pounds for a wedding. It's preposterous. It's such a big business, and so obviously on the day, the bride will want you to be looking your best. So if you've got a black eye, then she's not going to be best pleased, and it's not the best start to your marriage, I suspect.
No, it's not. It's not good, is it? You're right, Charlie. It is. It's both. It's preposterous. I think the wedding culture here in the UK in general, both the stag do's that you see nowadays are just as preposterous as the cost of weddings. I think it's absolutely insane that we can't have a stag do the night before the wedding because we drink so much that there's a good chance you're going to be in a really, really bad state for your wedding, like perhaps having a black eye, which is when you have a bruise all around your eye and you look like you got in a punch up, a bit of fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs. Yeah, that's a very old phrase that our parents would probably use, and we now use sarcastically. A bit of fisticuffs. I'm going to write that.
There you go. And Charlie said a nice word. He said preposterous. Preposterous. And this is like absurd, ridiculous. It kind of defies common sense. Preposterous. The cost of weddings is preposterous. And lockdown, meaning you're tied down, fully committed to someone, settled down, you haven't got your freedom anymore. But yeah, so we have the word stag. A stag is a male deer, and the male getting married has become known in England as the stag. It's a very masculine animal, and therefore we're calling the man the stag before they get married. The hen, what's a hen, Charlie?
Yeah, a hen, it's a very similar concept to the stag. It was it referred to the female chicken, and then more broadly just a female bird, and then it stuck with the female gender of the Homo sapiens. So now the women are called hens.
Okay, lovely stuff. This is really interesting because we're talking to people from all over the world here. You guys, I can see we've got people from India, we've got people from Russia, we've got people from Indonesia speaking in the chat box. And that's beautiful because everyone's got different traditions in different countries. And we think that our weddings are expensive. You know, maybe some people don't have ridiculous weddings. Like my brother's having quite a low-key wedding, quite a quiet one. He's maybe having a maximum of 30 guests. So in terms of costs, his is probably going to be significantly cheaper than your average wedding in the UK. But somebody who said that you should attend an Indian wedding, they are much more costing than that. They cost a lot more than that, a lot more expensive. I couldn't find a word with cost there.
Yeah, I actually have been invited to an Indian guy's future wedding because some of them are arranged still, and his, I think, was going to be arranged. I think he got out of it actually. I'm not sure. Anyway, he said you should come along, and I would be so up for that. I think that would be a very interesting experience because in England it's really formal, I think. It's fair to say, and we're in tails, meaning the suit that makes you look like a penguin, whereas in India there's a huge amount of color and vibrancy, and there's so many family members there that it would really be interesting, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it'd be fascinating. Yeah, it would. We do have quite formal weddings, but in Indian weddings, I guess there are lots of formalities as well. But it's interesting to see how, because in England we have lots and lots of Indian people living in the UK, and you're seeing like a lot of like a kind of fusion of English and Indian culture in their weddings. Like my sister went to an Indian wedding the other day, and of course in England it's a done thing to have a best man, which is like normally the stag's or the groom's best friend or maybe brother or something who will make a speech at the wedding. And there was the best man at this Indian wedding making a speech, and apparently all the Indian family and stuff just weren't listening. They were all talking amongst themselves because it's not something they do in their culture. So it's interesting to see this like fusion of cultures. Now sometimes it doesn't quite work, but in other aspects, like I've heard there's lots and lots of dancing at Indian weddings. This is dancing. And apparently that's just, but they said it was so fun. They did like different routines and they were teaching them different ways of dancing. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. There is one dance that's like that. I was shown that, like they hold hands, the men only hold hands, like 6 or 7 of them. And then the one at the end throws a handkerchief round or something like that and does really fast footwork and goes down and all sorts. It's really rare for us to see that kind of movement on the dance floor, because I've just come back from Colombia actually, and it made me realize that as Brits, one thing that we're missing massively is a cultural dance. I don't think we've got it. Would you say that's fair to say?
Absolutely. I mean, there are traditional dances. There are like, I think the waltz, which is like a kind of slow dance where you dance in like couples. I think maybe that's English, do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Line dancing, folk kind of dance. But no, we don't have it. Like in Argentina, they'll be doing like salsa, and what do they dance in Colombia? What were they?
They've got salsa, they've got merengue, they've got. I mean, salsa is the big one out there, but the general Latin American dancing is all around the 5 of them. I can't list them off the top of my head, but baracha or something like that.
Oh, yeah, bachata.
Oh, bachata.
That's a very sexual dance. It's basically humping with clothes on.
Is that not reggaeton?
Reggaeton. Well, that's like a kind of subgenre of music.
Because I was shown how to dance reggaeton, and it was very sexual. It was very nice and humpy.
Did you practice that with David, who you went with?
No, I practiced this with his sister actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That
And
is
his
hilarious.
mum. And his mum.
His mum, you danced a sexual dance with your friend's mother.
She loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I bet.
Anyway,
I hope you didn't get overexcited.
oh no, that would be very unprofessional. No, I was a strict reggaeton pro there. So back to the best man and the stag do that apprehends that is before the wedding. Nowadays we do it about a month before, and as I just said, I've just come back from one that is about 2 or 3 weeks ahead of the wedding, and the best man is the person who is the stag's best friend usually. But it depends on their characteristics because they've got to be quite good at some things. Can you guess some good traits of a best man, Harry?
Good traits of a best man. Well, it should be someone who's lovable. Normally, they have quite an important role in the wedding. They should be maybe good at public speaking. You know, you don't want to have a best man who's doing a speech and they come over all nervous and they faint like I did in a speech I did about 7 years ago.
You fainted?
Yeah, remember I told you in that company I worked for, I was doing a speech and I collapsed? Or I became overall faint. So I suddenly got faint and I went all pale in the face. I had to sit down. I couldn't see. I told you in a live lesson. I told you.
Okay. Apologies for forgetting then and now. That's insane. Yeah. So I was looking at maybe getting you as one of my best men potentially, but now I'm not so sure.
Best men. So that is. Hey, I would be. I reckon I would be up to the challenge now. But back then I was just very, very nervous. But yeah, that's interesting. You said best men because it's traditional to just have one best man. But is it a done thing now that you have several best men? Because my cousin is getting married, and the groom, he's having 2 best men, and actually one of the best men is actually a woman.
Oh, really? That is very unorthodox, but yeah, I've heard of it recently. One of my friends in Germany here, she was flown back to the UK for being a best man, and she wore, I think she wore a bow tie and suit. But yeah, so best men is becoming very popular. The wedding that I'm going to, there are 2 best men, and I would like probably to have 2 best men. I think over 2, and it's a bit overkill. But I think it's a good balance because you've got to have a good organizer and you've got to have a good public speaker. And it's not always often that you get the 2 in one brilliantly talented man.
Absolutely. Well, I think you found the right man here, Charlie.
One of.
Not to wed, not to marry, just to be best man.
Okay. I'll think about it.
Someone said in Russia, we often go to a sauna to have some drinks, talks, and girls say goodbye the last day of freedom and useless lurking. Okay, so they just hang around, not doing very much. Yeah. So what do the girls do here? What's the female equivalent of a best man, Charlie? And what is their role?
Their role is quite intense. They are the maid of honor, and they've got to organize the whole hen do, which as women like to have a little bit more details to their planning, I would say. They've got a bigger job than the best man. And then, of course, they've got to do all the fittings with the dresses, and they've got to make everything perfect for the bride. And maybe, I mean, I could be being sexist here, but maybe she's got her hands more full to keep the bride happier than the best man does for the groom. Would you say that's fair to say, or is that a bit rude?
I think that's very fair to say. I hear about these things a lot because my sister's constantly going to weddings, and there's nearly always a lot of flapping on the part of like the maid of honor. There's always a lot of, by flapping I mean like worrying, like unnecessarily panicky about the wedding, and trying to make sure all the bridesmaids have the right dresses. And often the maid of honor tries to, has to assume all the control over the situation. And it's often in the hands of someone who's a bit of a control freak. And I think it's quite stressful for the ladies. Whereas for the stag, like it's a bit more laid back, I think. It's like, let's just kind of get drunk and go and have fun. Like a weekend in Portugal, for example, is the kind of typical thing that people do nowadays in England.
Yeah, it is. Along with a few activities, we had quite a few good ones, and it normally ends up with a stripper as well, or a strip club.
yeah. My sister's has been subject to that several times. They've had strippers. They told me about one time they had a boat. They hired a canal boat.
Right.
Going up the canal in this horrible little rickety boat, and there were 2 strippers on the boat with them. And they were on the boat for maybe 2 hours, I think she said it was. And of course, these strippers were just there, naked, with their giant members, for 2 hours. And she said everyone was just actually frightened by them. I think I remember the larger of the 2 strippers was doing a handstand naked. It just sounds outrageous. So like, whilst like back when the Spartans did it, it was probably just a celebration of the stag or of the hen, enjoying it. Now it's more about humiliation and trying to embarrass the stag or the hen. And I know my brother definitely does not want that. What was it like in Portugal? Was it like that, Charlie?
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. It definitely is about embarrassing the stag. And this stag, he was up for it. He was a good laugh, a good sport, you could say as well. We had some challenges for him. One was to busk on the street. To busk is to play an instrument or to sing as a performance. You can't really call it a performance, this guy's. But he did it, and he had to do it until he got 10 euros. That was the bet.
Really? That's quite a dare, actually. Did he have a number of different dares to do?
Yeah, another one. Well, we also played golf, and at the beginning I thought golf, that's quite civilized, but they managed to make it the opposite of that. It was a short pitch and putt thing, and every hole everyone was doing shots for every penalty they took, and the stag had to take a club out of his bag, and then by the end they were making him kneel in front of the clubhouse, downing tequila, and to everyone's delight he vomited in front of the whole of the clubhouse. So we got escorted out, actually. The golf members weren't so happy, and the manager had to get involved.
Wow, Charlie, this all sounds very, very laddie.
It does. It's very British, very Brits abroad, isn't it?
It's incredibly Brits abroad, yeah. Unpleasant behaviour overseas that Brits are well known for in Europe. And but someone said
unpleasant behaviour abroad. Yeah, that's perfect.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. The synonym of Brits abroad is that unpleasant behaviour overseas. So yeah, we had some words: rickety, which Charlie nicely defined in the chat box as unsteady or weak. Rickety. So my sister was on a rickety boat, and Charlie said about what I said about humiliation. He said, "Oh, you've hit the nail on the head," meaning you are absolutely right. What you've said is absolutely right. And to down. So Charlie's friend was on his knees or kneeling down, downing tequila. So he was drinking it quickly and finishing it all in one go like this.
Donut. Yeah, he was. And then, so I'll say the last story. We did end up in a strip club, and we ended up paying for a dance for him. And I told my friend this, and it made me realize how it's so not equal in gender behaviors here. The stripper, she actually stripped him in front of like the whole strip club. It was really awkward.
Oh my God.
So he was totally he was totally naked.
That is just outrageous. Outrageous. I couldn't handle that. I would be really pissed off if someone tried to get me completely naked in front of loads of people. It'd be absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Did he took it well?
He took it well. He wasn't exactly aroused by the situation, but he did take it well. And he, again, was a very good sport.
Yeah.
He was a bit disappointed, I think.
I think that would be quite hideous if he was aroused by it. I don't think. Were you guys disappointed that he wasn't sexually aroused by the experience?
I wasn't. I found it funny. She was disappointed. She threw ice at him, I think, in the end.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course, because she wants him to be turned on by it. Yeah, absolutely. He's a good sport, meaning he participated without complaining. That's how I would define it.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's a rough outline of what happened on my stag. I wanted to ask Harry more about the Brits abroad, our stag do's, where we might go. And we want you guys to chime in as well, to guess as well. But Harry, if I was to say, name the top 5 destinations for British stag do's, where do you reckon you would say is most popular?
Okay, so Spain is always a good place. We like to go to Spain because the flights are cheap, the weather's good, and the alcohol's cheap as well. So I would say somewhere like maybe Mallorca.
Okay, yeah, I like your thought process. Yeah, Mallorca makes sense. It's not on the list, actually.
Can I have another guess?
You certainly can. You get 3 more guesses. And you guys try and guess, where do Brits like to go abroad for their stag do's?
Yeah, so another place I would probably go if I wanted to get hammered, meaning very drunk. I don't think they say hammered in the US, actually. Maybe they do. But I would go to Krakow in Poland because Poland has really, really cheap alcohol. It's a good fun place. Again, the flights are cheap. The women are attractive, and it's a good location.
Ding, ding, ding! Very good. So Krakow is the 5th highest place for people to go, and as you just tick them off in your head, that's what people think about. They think of the local women, they think of the price of the beer, and they think of the nightlife particularly. Okay.
Yeah. So we would say it's a good night out. It's a good night out.
It's a good night out, that one.
Yeah, this is so British. Oh, yeah. Oh, you should go to Krakow. It's a good night out. Yeah. Don't worry about the culture or the gastronomy. It's a good night out. You'll get proper pissed for about £10.
Yes. Oh, the architecture is rather delightful out there. Oh no, mate. Get a pint for £1 out there. Bloody lovely.
Yeah. Go to the cathedral. We'll take a couple of cans in.
Yeah. I saw Reza. Reza said Budapest in Hungary, and that is most definitely on the list. Very nice. Very nice. Budapest is I've lost the bloody list. Budapest. Number three. Very good, Reza.
I think Reza might have found your list, Charlie.
No chance. He wouldn't be so conniving, so cheeky there. So another place is Prague.
Of course, yeah. These are all places that I've actually been to and got really, really drunk in. These are good locations for a stag do. Yeah.
Okay.
Does this count for hen do's as well? Do ladies do the same kind of thing? I've definitely seen big groups of girls going to like Heathrow Airport together. Normally the girl's got like something around her. What's that thing that a girl wears when they go on their hen do?
A sash. Is it called a sash?
Yeah, they use it in like beauty parlors and stuff like not beauty parlors, like
the awards like Miss America and things like that.
Yeah, they wear that kind of stuff, like a little crown.
Yeah, it is a sash. S-A-S-H. A sash.
Okay. Yeah, a sash. So if you ever see a group of girls and one of them is wearing a sash and maybe a little crown, she's on her hen do, and we apologize on behalf of her.
Yeah, I think we call it a tiara, don't we?
A tiara. Thank you very much. Yeah, I couldn't think of that one either.
Yeah, so watch out for them. I remember when I was a little boy, the first hen do that I saw, I was a bit scarred because she had some plastic, molds, should we say, on the outside of her clothes, and it was some fake breasts, and she was just walking around town like that. And I said, "Mummy, why are her boobs out?
Why are her boobs so big and plastic?"
Yeah.
Can I kiss them, Mummy? Like I used to kiss yours. Oh, dear. There you go. A tiara, a sash. Charlie, on your
S, I think.
Huh?
Sash. S-A-S-H.
Oh, pardon me. Okay.
I spelt it like C-H though.
Yes. Charlie, I imagine Charlie's not engaged yet, but I hear wedding bells. I imagine you'll be wearing a sash and a tiara, Charlie. I reckon yours will be the least manly stag do anyone's ever had.
Well, if I invite Harriet as well, that would be a right little cross-dressing scenario, wouldn't it?
We could go in full drag.
Full drag. That would be intense. Yeah. Okay. So we do want to know more about what you think about these traditions, whether you think it's abhorrent, disgusting, terrible, or whether you think it's a good laugh. I think there's definitely controversy in England. It's split between that. You don't really have people not minding it. You either love it or hate it. And it sounds like your brother hates it, and he's going to have a more low-key setup where he's just going to enjoy the company rather than the humiliation. Is that right?
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it, that there are actually people that enjoy the inevitable humiliation of a stag do. But yeah, my brother's definitely not one of those people. He is bang against it. He's bang against it. He's completely opposed to it. He hates it. And so do I. I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I'd find the whole thing embarrassing. But my friend Chris, who did the grammar test on this channel, he recently went on his dad's stag do. It was actually his dad's third or fourth stag do. He's been married quite a few times, and there was a lot of this humiliation. He said that he got wedgied like 3 or 4 times. Wedgie this is a very English thing, isn't it? I don't know if they do wedgies in America. Do you do wedgies in America? A wedgie is when somebody pulls you up or holds you from your underwear like that. They pull it up very high so it goes right up your bottom, and normally it can break your underwear. Horrible thing to do to somebody.
It is. Yeah, to get a wedgie. I think they do that in America as well. You wedgied. Okay. When was the last time you got wedgied, Harry?
Last night actually.
Really?
No. I got wedgied when by my brother. Ironically, I got wedgied by him when we were like, I think I was like 19, maybe like just about to go to university. We went on a little holiday in England, and there was a lot of alcohol, and I got wedgied. Yeah, my pants like ripped. Horrible.
Oh dear. You probably wear those pants still, though, knowing you.
Sure. Never throw a good pair of Calvin Klein away. Why would I?
No reason to. Okay.
So Reza's snogging plastic boobs might be quite attractive, though. Reza, that's an outrageous thing to say. There might be kids watching.
And then the one beneath that, Marianne says, like meat and 2 veggies. That's a good synonym for a man's genitalia. We normally say the meat and 2 veg, not veggies. But yeah, we'll allow you having that one. Meat and 2 veg.
Yeah, meat and 2 veg. Yeah, that refers to the man's package, meat and 2 veg. Yeah, you can say, oh, I can see your meat and 2 veg through those little shorts.
We could see the Stag's meat and 2 veg the other night, actually.
Yeah. He was completely in the nude. That's horrific. Yeah. Good stuff. What's next, Charlie?
So we're coming to a close, actually, but we had some cheesy sayings that aren't necessarily common, but they're quite hilarious in their extreme rhyming and cheesiness. Cheesiness being, I always find it difficult to explain cheesiness.
Yeah, like low in quality and too many smiles.
Yes, cheap and of low quality. Nicely explained. Yeah. Okay, so there's a phrase here. Well, it's very common to use this phrase that Harry has taught before, dead man walking. He's a dead man walking. And that's referring to the stag because he's got a lot of challenges coming up, usually requiring him to humiliate himself in a painful way, using alcohol and physical torture in some way. So he's a dead man walking.
Dear. Not nice. Okay. He's a dead man walking. He's a dead man walking. And you could say that about someone who's wanted for something. I guess historically when there was a bounty on somebody's head, when someone was wanted dead, people wanted that person dead. You'd say, oh, he's a dead man walking. We're going to find him. We're going to kill him. Yeah.
There's a phrase here that I can imagine you saying on your Bachelor part or your Stag Do. Sorry, ladies, I'm getting married.
Okay, so this is like a good way to kind of get out of a situation where someone wants more than just a cuddle.
Well, I think it's a cheesy pickup line as well. It's like saying, sorry girls, I'm taken. But
okay. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, that could work.
Another phrase, one more fling before the ring. One more fling before the ring.
Of course, the average British man would definitely not cheat on their other half just before getting married, but some may. You would say that a fling being a casual, short-lived relationship. One more fling before the ring.
Yeah, the others are a little bit grotesque, so I think we'll leave.
Yeah.
We'll
leave them. But I guess we're coming to the end then. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great fun. This has been more of a cultural episode because we want to tell you more about how things are here in the UK, even though we're not particularly proud of this part of our culture. this is how it is. Maybe we can change it. Maybe over time, it won't be so like this. So apologies to those countries, like those places in the world where we do invade during stag celebrations, and we'll try to keep the noise down next time. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with your friends, and stay tuned because we've got lots more content coming up to teach you English and more about the British culture.
Yeah. So again, sorry to those of you living in Prague, Hamburg, Budapest, Berlin, Krakow, Amsterdam, Bratislava,
Bratislava,
Barcelona, and Riga, because Brits will be coming to your town very shortly to tear it up a little bit. So yeah, apologies.
Yeah, sorry guys. If you like our style of teaching, then you can become one of our patrons, where you get extra live lessons like this, where we actually give you personalized feedback on your English. We do group lessons where you can speak with us via Google Hangouts, and we do one-to-one lessons as well. If you want to check that out, there's a link in the description box below to our Patreon page. And we also do immersion courses here in the UK. If you want to come and meet us in the flesh, learn with us, have lessons every day, go on trips, lots of fun stuff for about 5 days. It's amazing fun. We've got a couple of places left for our summer courses, and we'll have more throughout the year. So check them out as well. Look at the link which says our immersion courses in the description box below.
Thank you very much. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, do so and give us a cheeky thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you very much. See you again soon on Real English with Real Teachers. Thank you, Harry. Bye for now.
Ciao, guys. Thanks, Charlie.